I thought maybe I would just do a couple of points of view on cutting because it's so open to interpretation. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. You have to just do what really works for you. I'm new at this. I've only been scrolling about a year, and I really enjoy it, but I definitely don't do the same that other people do. So here, you can see I always use a pivot point. I'm only going to talk about the things that I do. Maybe they'll work for you, maybe they won't. You just have to do what works best for you and your technique. So I turn my machine way down, turn it really, really slow. I'm only using 2/0 blades on these tiny cuts. I like modified geometry blades. And I just work very, very slowly to get turns and points. You can use the technique called, I believe they call it loop-de-loo, where you can, in fact, get a nice sharp point by cutting through to the end of the point, backing off, flipping the blade around in your waste piece, and backing all the way back up to the tip, and then proceeding with a nice clean point. Here you can see that I am, in fact, a bottom feeder. I don't feed from the top. A lot of people do, but again, it's just what works for you. A lot of different ways to do this. I don't see too well, so I have to use the magnifying glass with the light in it so that I can see these micro cuts really, really well. I also wanted you to notice the dust collection. There is no dust on top of my table with this running. The only downside is it's a little bit loud, but I always have my headphones on and just listen to Pandora and enjoy myself as I make my cuts. It's just a very, very relaxing hobby. I was able to get another point of view, and you can see that I've progressed quite a bit at this point. You can see through the light there that I've cut quite a few of the holes, and I'm working through the smallest points first. And that's kind of a typical practice. Do your small internal cuts first, finish up on the outside, or your largest cuts last. You don't want it to be too fragile as you're going along, but you can see here that from this point of view, a little bit better on kind of what I'm doing. It's, again, slow it down. I really like to work the curve slowly so I don't get off track. Some people can really go fast. I've seen some videos, wow, they really take off. But I prefer a more slow, methodical approach to these cuts, where other people, they tend to really get it. And for me, you can see I just move, nice and slow, lots of control. Highly recommend the dust collection option. I may make a video on how I did mine. But you can see from the blue and orange hose, there's no dust on the surface at all. And the bellows hose blows it, anything that comes up, and then the dust collection just grabs it. It's kind of nice. I also have a blue and orange hose connected to the same dust collection system underneath of the saw, right by the lower clamps. And I hardly get any dust at all on it. You can notice here too that I do get a little close to the blade, but I've never had an incident. As long as you have everything going nice and slow, it seems to work really, really well. I have a Dewalt saw. As you can see that I have put the Pegas blade clamps on there, or Pegas, however you want to pronounce it. And it works pretty well. You don't have to over tighten them at all, so please don't. You don't want to strip anything out. But they are very, very good clamps. This is a upgrade that I would highly recommend if you want to take a look at that. But I apologize for the light on the magnifying ring, but I can't really see without it. So I do need to make sure that I use that. It just makes it very, very difficult to video. So I'll try and get to a point where I can zoom in for you guys so you can take a little bit closer look at what I'm doing and kind of how methodical I am. Again, this is just me. There's a lot of different ways to do this, so you guys have to just practice a little bit and come up with what works for you. Okay, I was able to get this footage zoomed in a little bit more, and you can see some residue that you couldn't see before on the surface of my cut, and that's basically just the contact paper for shelving that I used. It lubricates the blade quite a bit. I've noticed in using it that I don't lose a lot of blades this way, but you can see here I'm coming into a point, and for these 2/0 ones, for me, I'm able to make it because it's not an extremely sharp point. So I just turned it around and continue very slowly. You can actually see the dust collection just taking the sawdust right off of the table. This is a great addition. I highly recommend it. But you can see for me, this is not slowed down. This is real speed. I just go nice and slow and just take my time. I probably will get a little better at this as time goes on, but as a beginner, I feel pretty confident in my technique, and you can see some of the sharp points I was talking about on just the left of where I'm cutting in this screen. I thought it would be important to show you guys my point of view, so I actually was able to kind of just slow this clip way down, and I'm looking now through the magnifying glass. I had to kind of hold the camera up there. There's no movement in this blade. There's no forward progress in this blade. I just wanted you to see my point of view. You can see where the bellows hose is, just up and above the actual saw blade, and then there's also where the dust collection is. And I just kind of wanted to show you. You can also see several of the very detailed points that I cut. So it's very possible to get them nice and close together. I can't emphasize this point enough, guys. Don't focus on what other people are doing. Fix your own technique. Just practice and it'll all come together. The only thing that really matters is what works for you. I hope these videos are helpful. If you enjoy them, please think about subscribing to my channel. Like the video, share the video. Let's grow together. Thanks.